I think that we can get started. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. So I want to remind everyone here that this session is going to be recorded. So recording actually is already started. So we can now get into the Thingiverse Navigate Technical Committee. So welcome everyone for attending this open technical committee house here. And we are very excited to introduce Thingiverse Navigate Technical Committee for all PTC user members and the new joining members for PTC user as well. Those who are really new for PTC user, we are really independent voice for users, and we are the solely recognized PTC's representative of customer. And I've been part of this PTC user community for more than 15 years. And the value I have gotten from connecting using this network is enormous. And we learn and we share ideas, we educate each other. So it's really a great resource to have while working for PTC softwares. So just the overview of how we make sure that what are our channels where we advocate. We do a lot of meetings with the PTC executives. The PTC user work directly with PTC on the working groups, which are really a direct feedback into the features PTC is working on all product lines. Either it is Vuforia augmented reality or ThingWorx Navigate, CAD, Windchill PLM. So now we have really a whole breadth of products where we provide feedback, and we work very closely with PTC. And our events, we do twice. We do this January face-to-face event, which is scheduled for January 25. It's going to be in San Diego, sunny San Diego here. So we do these events where all the PTC user and PTC come together, and we share our use of the product and get the feedback, do networking, and I feel that those are really valuable events to join. And of course, the technical committees, which are really a group where specific to the PTC products. So like this PTC Navigate, Thingiverse Navigate we have, where we are collaborating very closely with PTC R&D to provide feedback, how we are using Thingiverse Navigate and other things. So it's basically a voice of customer. It's really a close collaboration with PTC product management, where we feed our ideas back to PTC, give them direction that how the industry is using their products and the apps. The PTC Thingiverse Navigate is being out for more than 4+ years now. So how the industry is shaping, how the usage of Navigate and things like that. And more importantly, I think that we, as a group, when we come together, we kind of brainstorm ideas and we kind of answers each other's questions. It can be a technical or from a business standpoint, how we are solving problem. And I think that that becomes very valuable becoming part of the technical committee. So the format of the technical committee is it's led by the TC technical committee chair. So the role of the technical committee chair is they build agenda, they facilitate conversations, and identify the working groups for example, where if the PTC, if the customers are working on having a need which is echoed by other customers as well. So the technical committee chair can recommend working groups, and they can work with PTC to kind of incorporate those, either it's a new app or new functionality, into their roadmap. So right now I'm actually leading this ThingWorx Navigate committee, but we are looking to recruit a chair for the ThingWorx Navigate. So if anyone is interested in leading that, please please contact us. And here are some tools. We are right now in process of migrating our portal to a newer looking UI. I'm sure you're all going to really like it, and we are very excited to introduce that later on. Though, for current, we have a ptcuser.org is our stop shop, where we kind of have information on what are the technical committees we have, and it actually records the technical committee activities whenever we host meetings, or we have discussion forums around those technical committees, which these all are recorded on the ptcuser.org. And there's a technical committee. Go to TC here, and there's a list of technical committees which are already established. We can take a look at that. And of course, the PTC community. I personally find very useful to collaborate with other ThingWorx architects and developers who are kind of very active, and even PTC folks are also very active in collaborating here on the community as well. So I think that these two forums are very helpful for all of us to get familiarized and get the best outcome of the PTC products implementations. So here are the list of technical committees we have. As we all know that PTC is really leading vision for having the IoT of people. That's what we heard from Jim Heppelman earlier this week. So the augmented and virtual reality is a new technical committee which is formed to have all the customers come together who are interested in AR, VR. ThingWorx and ThingWorx Navigate those are the two specific committees around ThingWorx as a platform. The ThingWorx committee is more towards the overall platform and IoT use cases, and the ThingWorx Navigate is the committee we have formed, which actually works with the all the use cases around Windchill and all the future work PTC is doing. And I just actually searched in the PTC user before the presentation. We have 100+ members now on the ThingWorx Navigate technical committee. I'm very excited to see that. And of course, we have other CAD and Windchill related technical committees here as well. So as I said, I am Preeti Gupta leading this technical committee for time being. We have PTC sponsor Christoph, Rochelle, and Emily Larkin. I think Emily is here on the call. And we actually meet once in a month for this technical committee. And we just had our monthly meeting yesterday. So basically what we're looking for, right? Like really a focused group for ThingWorx Navigate customers to share use cases, implementation, and direct product feedback to PTC. And I have been working on this ThingWorx Navigate for more than, as soon as it was out, I think it's more than 4+ years. And Johnson & Johnson, we have really implemented quite a lot of ThingWorx Navigate apps. And we are currently also working on a very large deployments of navigate. So becoming a part of the technical committee helps us really get PTC engaged, and also try to crowdsource ideas of how we can effectively use the ThingWorks very light user interface and give users a better interaction with ThingWorks Navigate. Um, so basically, the objective, as I've been saying, that we wanted to really understand what everyone is doing with the Navigate. We understand that PTC has really put out of the box Navigate apps. So we kind of brainstorm ideas around, hey, what are the use cases around Navigate which they can productize. And also we wanted everyone to actively participate and contribute. Kind of we share our member briefs, like I always like to really share what Johnson & Johnson doing, and I think that that's very valuable for other folks as well. And we wanted to provide feedback on the PTC product roadmap. So some of the recent topics on this technical committee is being like app development, infrastructure, deployments, and mainly the problem report app feedback, which PTC is being working on recently. And there was a UX, the usability lab sessions, virtual sessions, which were offered this week. So I think that we kind of take this Navigate technical committee as a whole, and right now the topics is around the full end-to-end solution deployment, which includes everything about the app, like how are we going to model the app, how can we use the existing components of the out-of-the-box apps, and things like that. So I feel that this is really a great resource for the customers who wanted to implement, or they're starting to think to implement, or they're already implementing ThingWorks Navigate and wanted to move forward with it. This is really a great resource. And I wanted to invite Emily to talk from a PTC side, like, hey, what PTC is really looking out of this engagement? Emily, do you want to share some of your thoughts on this?
Sure, yeah, thanks, Preeti. Thanks everyone for joining today. As Preeti mentioned, my name's Emily Larkin. I'm a product manager for ThingWorks Navigate at PTC. Christoph, who is also included as a PTC sponsor, is my manager. He's the lead for the Navigate product management team at PTC. So as Preeti mentioned, this is also a very valuable group for us as product managers. It gives us the opportunity to share our roadmap, provide different kind of feature planning and enhancements. As Preeti mentioned, it's usually pretty early on, as well as kind of the full scale of it. So with all the way from the UX research that we might ask members of the group to engage in our planning piece, all the way through deployment and feedback after the app has been released. So overall, we hope to kind of reduce some customer ambiguity as we provide this group with updates, sometimes even updates or pulsing the group before things even make it to our roadmap. So it's very helpful just to get feedback from a group of core PTC customers. The other thing that it helps us with is to drive more informed product management roadmap decisions. So it helps in our investment process when we think about what are some of the use cases that this group is trying to tackle, what are some of the main problems or pain points that exist in some of your engineering processes today, or in sharing that rich product engineering data outside of the engineering enterprise today. What are some of the use cases you have around multi-system connectivity? All of that helps us to look and think about, you know, what do we do from kind of an architecture standpoint? What do we do from a what new out-of-the-box app would bring the most value. So it's incredibly beneficial to have any feedback early on from this group, because it really does help us make better decisions when we can have a representative group of our customers that are speaking out saying, no, this doesn't really make sense, it doesn't provide a lot of value, or yes, this would be incredibly helpful. And something that we aim kind of as an objective from the PM standpoint is to be able to actively seek feedback from this committee. So that's something that we want to be more proactive about, do it earlier on ahead of implementation, given in the past we had a Navigate working group that went on probably for about 1.5 years before we evolved it with Preeti into a technical committee to really kind of expand the scope of it. And so oftentimes in the working group, it was a little bit more focused type of sessions. And with the technical committee, we really want to broaden it out. So a bigger audience, as you'll find when Preeti mentioned, there's probably about 100 customers and PTC users that are registered, which is awesome. And we also want to make sure from a PM standpoint that we're really leveraging this group and the expertise of this group early on in our process and in our priorities planning, because it will bring us a lot of benefit from the PM perspective. So that's something that we're committing to doing with this group, so that it's not a announcement of, hey, we've implemented this new feature with Navigate that we haven't necessarily gone through the right due diligence to source information from PTC user and other customers. So that is kind of the high level viewpoint and expectation that we have of ourselves as PTC sponsors of this group, as well as what you can expect us to bring to these meetings that Preeti mentioned are every month.
Yeah, thanks, Emily. That was really great to go over what's the PTC's expectation and objectives around this. And I really feel so good about this ThingWorks Navigate product as a whole since the time when it was launched. And I have a Windchill background. I worked in Windchill PLM for more than 10 years. And when I look at this ThingWorks Navigate, I'm like, this is really very helpful product for a lightweight users of PLM. Not everyone is a CAD person. So I think that PTC has engaged us, all the customers, so early on to incorporate the feedback in the product roadmap is going to help shape this Navigate for a number of years. And I think that having sitting on the ThingWorks platform, which really has a flexibility to connect to other enterprise sources, actually also helps the customers to bring data on the one single dashboard, so to speak. And I think that's the need of the enterprise customers today. I mean, this is what I see happening in Johnson & Johnson. So I think that this is really a very helpful resource to be part of so that the ThingWorks Navigate implementation goes smoothly. And we learn from each other and we share our ideas. And all the learnings from the Windchill technical committees and collaboration has been brought already into the Navigate. So I get really excited about ThingWorks Navigate technical committee, and Emily is really very responsive. PTC right away, answers any questions we have around infrastructure or any design issues we are getting into. And this becomes a great forum for collaboration because ThingWorks is still new, but I have deployed more than for apps which are like in production for 2+ years now and pretty stable. And I think that we have seen a good user adoption around that as well. So I think that this is really helpful for customers to join. So please pass on this information to your colleagues as well who wanted to, who are interested in joining this or wanted to explore at least, like, hey, what this ThingWorx Navigate is about, right? And it's not just like PLM. They can also build the dashboard for getting information from, let's say, Salesforce, SAP, or whatnot, right? So I think that we have um, we have a really a great start for this. So here are some helpful emails. Frank is actually also on the call. He's the director of technical committee. If you guys have any questions, you can reach out to him about this. And I'm right now interim chair for this Navigate. And I plan on committing my time to help this Navigate technical committee shape in future. And I feel really passionate about this whole ThingWorx Navigate and ThingWorx platform as such. So I think that I will still plan to contribute. And we have Margie Mayon from the PTC user board also helping us. So if any specific topic around ThingWorx Navigate, we think that, hey, we wanted to form a working group, we can actually form a customer working group. Like if there are more than one customer wanted to talk about a similar need, and then we can kind of involve PTC. So there can be two ways we can actually do working groups as well. And last is PTC community manager Jamie Lee Bunton from PTC. She's pretty helpful as well, and pretty active in PTC community administration as well. So I think that these are resources very helpful for us to kind of know and kind of see if these can be useful for our product implementations. With that, I wanted to open the floor for the questions. Anything you would like to get answered, this is the time, and I'm happy to answer. Emily is here as well. Let me know.
So my name is Katie. I just put something in the chat actually. So as a company, OI, which is who I work for, is just getting into using Navigate.
Okay.
And we want to know how easy it is to learn how to create the, use the apps that's there. We see a lot of potential, but since we have no one trained in how to do it, we'd either have to go out to use our secondary source or train somebody within the company. So if it's easy enough to learn, then we'll train somebody within the company. We have a lot of people, really learning how to use Power BI and stuff like that. So it's like, well, I think ThingWorx Navigate is a better tool for our Windchill users. And we have a lot of, non-CAD people to get a lot of data. We have a lot of data and we can't get it out easily. So it's just a matter of how easy is it to learn to use it. As an SME, we have.
Yeah, I agree.
So I guess that's the kind of.
That's a great question, Katie. And I think that with my experience with working in ThingWorx Navigate, because the tight, really close connection with Windchill, ThingWorx Navigate kind of becomes the answer for doing some dashboards or any lightweight apps on ThingWorx. I mean, with my experience, I thought that it was actually easy to create simple UIs in ThingWorx, and PTC actually has put examples how we can create our custom apps, and there are like custom widgets, off-the-shelf widgets, which are published in 8.5, which can be kind of turned around quickly to, let's say, get the attribute display for CAD, or maybe for the the documents in Windchill. So to me, I mean,
right, I don't remember which version I'm on.
Yeah. So I feel that this is not really kind of a little bit one layer up development, because we're not doing ground up, right? Like we are not working on the connectors, and there's a lot of out of the box endpoints, RESTful web service endpoints PTC created. which we can kind of get the data in ThingWorks quickly. So some of the dashboard we did a live connection, like that way we are getting the, let's say, change management metrics live and things like that. So it really depends. But I think that it's probably Emily can also point out some other resources, but I think that PTC Community and PTC Health Center has quite a lot of information. And I do think that PTC provides some training as well on ThingWorks as such.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
learn as a, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, no, you go for it first. I was just going to add on some
I was
trainings that I
say,
know that exist.
I was gonna say, I learn as a, I watch and then participate as a, you know, I watch and then, okay, can I try it myself kind of thing. So that's how I learn. I've kind of self-taught myself Windchill and all the stuff that goes into it. And then I am currently one of the main SMEs for my company for using Windchill. So it's like, okay, is the next step for me learning Navigate so then I can get out and, you know, help the non-CAD people getting the data out of this one single source of truth. I guess another question is this how you connect Windchill to SAP? I keep seeing that, but I wasn't sure if that's how it's done.
Yeah, it would be through ThingWorks Navigate. So because Navigate is an application or a solution that sits on the ThingWorks Foundation platform, it inherently kind of has this ability of interconnectedness, where it can connect to multiple systems. We do have, there is a relatively newer solution, I would say, within PTC called ThingWorks Flow. And that's
Okay.
used for connecting to different systems, but Navigate has an out-of-the-box SAP connector.
Okay.
And there's
but
some product
which
documentation
version?
on that.
Sure, which version of that?
That is an excellent question. I would have to go back and look in our, because it was released a couple releases ago.
Okay, I don't, like, unfortunately, we're in the cloud hosted environment, so I have to, whatever it is, it would have to be in the cloud. So that's where I'm still stuck, I think.
Okay.
I think what I'm on is not cloud hosted yet, as far as the most. So there you go. There's another question in the chat. Like I said, I can email you guys. That's fine. I can kind of go from there.
That would actually work. And I was just going to say too that in addition, we've got, you know, product documentation. I think some of it you might find helpful. Our out-of-the-box apps are really designed to have, you know, minimal to low training required to deploy those, and even for end users. And on PTCU, you can find some resources for Navigate, both free as well as some that require like customer success points. Some of those are like instructor-led classes or virtual classes. And there are some other kind of intro to developing with ThingWorks classes that might be beneficial, or videos to watch. But I will say, you know, kind of just to echo Preeti's point, it's supposed to be a very low code, rapid app development environment. It's ThingWorks Mashup Builder or Composer, sometimes that's what it's called.
Yeah, well, I think that's what the question in the chat has something about mashups and stuff. I don't know.
Does this
Right.
TRC evaluate things?
Yeah. So I think I'll come back to Katie's your point too. We can actually chat offline if you would like.
That's fine.
That's fine. I see a question from Dimitri here that are we going to evaluate the things and mashups? I believe, like, are you? I believe that we are alluding to those custom widgets or custom extensions which are on the marketplace.
Yes,
that's an excellent question. Go ahead.
There are lots of them on marketplace, and some of them duplicate each other. Some of them are, I don't know, tried and didn't work, and so I guess if right now marketplace is kind of free for all.
Yeah. Right.
We might need to do some rating maybe there, what's useful and what's not.
Yeah, that's something we could bring up in the ThingWorks technical committee as well, because I feel that is the ThingWorks platform related. But of course, I mean, there are apps or widgets, extensions available pertaining to Navigate, which we definitely can evaluate here. We probably have to think about how we wanted to do that, but I think this is an excellent thing. And I myself has gone into downloading some of those marketplace extensions, and I feel like, as you were alluding, that there are some that they are pretty good, and some are duplicates, and some has bugs and things like that. So we probably can kind of form a topic around that as well. And I see one more question from Kamlesh about the technical committee for ThingWorks Flow. As Emily alluded, that ThingWorks Flow is 2 version. I mean, it just kind of released last year, I believe. And we don't have any formal technical committee around that. But I think that this is something we can start discussing as part of this Navigate committee, and we can actually form subcommittees around it on ThingWorks Flow. If and like in Johnson & Johnson, we are trying to evaluate as well that do we want to use ThingWorks Flow for the orchestration between these systems like Windchill, SAP, or let's say Supplier Portal and things like that. Even though in Windchill we have those ESI target and those type of things available for the integration with the MRPs, but I think that this ThingWorks Flow actually has more flexibility to get through this as well. Okay. Is there any other? Oh, I see another question here. This is something for you, Emily. Are there any plans for expanding Navigate change management functionality with Windchill? Specifically, change notice workflow or change notice tasks?
There are, yeah. So we have started to think about, and hopefully many of you that are on here were able to attend our virtual on-demand session for LiveWorks. We talked about Navigate 9.0 and what's coming beyond that on our roadmap. And we did talk a little bit about plans to expand the Navigate current contribute out of the box app My Tasks, and adding change notice tasks or promotion requests. Those are some of the top ones that we've heard about. We don't have a committed timeline or date on those yet. However, I think as we start to think through what types of functionality we should be adding, that will be something that we talk through with our Navigate technical committee to get their thoughts on, you know, is promotion request something that's wanted more than change notices, that sort of thing. I will say too that that's just in regards to our Navigate out of the box contribute My Tasks app. Obviously with the Navigate or the ThingWorks connected PLM license for Navigate, you do have the opportunity to build your own custom apps and custom mashups. So if that's something of interest, I think that's also a possibility going forward if you have other change management type of needs that might be more immediate. That could be an option as well. But definitely something that's on our roadmap. We're thinking about prioritizing, just no committed timeline to it yet, but we will review it with the technical committee when we start to prioritize it.
Thanks, Emily. This is Brian Cotton at KI. We've been looking at Navigate since version 1.2. We're a beta company testing the original contribute apps, and I've actually pulled our evaluation of it because it just wasn't ready. So I'm just starting to get back into looking at Navigate now. We're migrating Windchill to version 11.1, which will let us use, I think it's Navigate 8.5. But after that, we have no plans to move to try to go to Windchill 12 anytime soon, because it's been a painful process to upgrade Windchill via the cloud we're also a cloud customer.
Okay, that's helpful.
So
I will agree with you there.
yeah, oh, it's a long process. And if anyone ever wants to talk about that with working with cloud and how to do
Well,
it
it wasn't just, and I don't know about you, but we upgraded last year to 11.1. We also did our AutoCAD upgrade at the same time because we had to.
Yep.
It's just like, oh my gosh. So
Yeah,
it was painful all around.
upgrades are long and painful. But that said, when we originally purchased Windchill, this was about, I should say we migrated from the old Interlink system. It was about 3.5 years ago now, and one of the main selling points for us was Navigate and the ability to change or to get engineering information more from a PDM system to really having a PLM system where we could share data across our corporation. And to be blunt, Navigate has really failed for us. We've yet to realize the value of it. It's been very difficult for us to use it. We've been maturing our WT parts and auditing them. That's a key element for this working, and we're still working on getting data cleanup even years later. The change portion of Windchill is very clunky, very difficult for your non-common or your non-engineering user to use. And Navigate was intended to be our solution around that. And so far, the contribute and the change process portion of Navigate has, it's focused really on like the change review board or the very upfront process, and has not addressed anything with the change tasks or actual change notice portion of our business process, our engineering or our change notice process. So I hopefully in the future, we'll see some progress there. But if it's not until later versions of Navigate 9.0 and later, we're not going to be able to realize that for years to come with the, how long everything takes to progress. So just feedback.
Understand. Yeah, that's good feedback. And I think there's some work that our internal PTC cloud team is doing too around making sure that our Navigate releases are available in the cloud. So 8.5 will become available for cloud customers in this summer actually. And then our 9.0 version will be a fast follow later on in the summer. But that's definitely good feedback for us to know. And I would say, definitely join our technical committee and join those meetings, because we will talk and provide updates on kind of how we're progressing, as well as pulse the group on, what areas of change management make the most sense. But I will say we've heard an overwhelming number about change notice. Additionally, it's not just a Navigate kind of timeline that we work through, it's also the Windchill releases. So there are some changes that have to take place in core Windchill functionality to expose certain things to Navigate. So I will say that sometimes our R&D teams have dependencies on Windchill and their release timelines as well, and we work through that internally, but sometimes that is a component to when we're able to make that available in Navigate.
Certainly understandable. It's not all doom and gloom here. The story of Navigate is you're onto something with it. It's modernizing Windchill is the way I kind of look at it. The Windchill interface is just clunky and dated, and Navigate is much more 2020. You're onto something. It's just the time it takes to get there is painful.
Yeah, one thing I would like to add, Ryan, for you, like I actually myself worked on one of the change management workflow app, which was actually working on change request and change notice as well. So now with those quite a lot of RESTful endpoints available and this out-of-the-box contribute app available, I think that the customers should be able to kind of it depends on the kind of the complexity as well, but I feel that not all the out-of-the-box app will actually be satisfying all the customers' requirement, but I think that gives us really a lot of starting point to understand for customers that, hey, yeah, this can be done in ThingWorks, for example. So why can't I just do change notice and change task, review task apps for the time being, something like that, and kind of take it from there once like the apps are available in the roadmap. Like even in Johnson & Johnson use case, what I see that, okay, the apps are out-of-the-box apps are really good starting point, but there are always something we need to do, we need to add, right? So I also think that PTC is supporting the custom task app development as well. So that's another avenue, I think, as part of the technical committee we wanted to explore and kind of educate our customer around ThingWorks Navigate as well. And I see a lot of I see a lot of value on that and flexibility for creating very simple user interfaces. As you mentioned, that the eventual interface is clunky for the users who are lightweight users, like people who are in and out, like CAD type of a users or the authors. For them, okay, they are used to it. So.
Sure. Thank you.
I would definitely echo that, Preeti. Yeah, we are definitely investing a lot as well, which hopefully everyone is seeing from our reusable components infrastructure that we used for building the Contribute My Tasks app, but we're also productizing those in 9.0, so they'll be available for use in custom app developments, which should really help speed up the time it takes to do custom app development, as opposed to how it's been previously. So there's definitely still investment that's going into that custom app development and really helping give our customers and users that want to build custom apps or slightly tweak things in the out-of-the-box app. As Preeti said, there's, it's hard to release something that's going to work for every single customer's specifications. So by providing this kind of tool set from a rapid app building environment, we're hopefully able to augment some of that and make it easier to do custom app development.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if you guys have anything, but I just tried going on the PTC users site and it timed out on me. So I don't know if something's wrong with the site or not.
Not that I know of, but I would just check back maybe in a few minutes in case there's some maintenance
That's fine.
going
That's
on,
fine.
and
I'm
let
just
me know
letting
if
you
you have
guys
any
know.
issues.
Sure.
It might be a system glitch. I just tried both of them. They're okay.
All right.
Is there any other question?
I would just encourage everyone on the call that's interested in joining the technical committee. Preeti showed you the PTC user website and the technical committee section where you can join the ThingWorks Navigate group. And it's through that distribution list that we'll send out emails and calendar invites of when we'll be meeting each month, as well as like a recap and some of the recordings. So if you want to stay up to date, if you find that this is a technical committee that you're interested in joining, that is the way to join and get involved and kind of be in the loop on different communications that go out.
Yeah, thank you, Emily. And yeah, I think that now that we have 100 plus members on this technical committee, and I'm very excited for shaping this product for all of us here by the means of having this technical committee as a resource. So please feel free to join this technical committee and provide us feedback as well from a PTC user perspective. How can we do better? What are the other resources you think that we should be adding in the PTC user resource box, I would say. So, so I think it's going to be a very interesting journey. So thank you all for attending this session. It was really valuable. And thanks, Brian and Katie, actually, to kind of echo what you guys are working with to navigate. And I think that these type of feedbacks are really helpful for PTC, and also kind of help as the technical committee chair to kind of have our top 10 priority from all our customers around here and say, okay, these are the top 10 things we voted and we want PTC to take a look at and incorporate in their roadmap, and things like that will come out of this technical committee. So thank you for your participation here.
Yes, thank you, Preeti, and thanks everyone for joining.
Thanks.
Thank you. Have a great one.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks. Thank you, Frank.